Osceola Chieftain Sports Live, and we are back with Coach Kal Gerber for the varsity wrestling. What a great time to be a Chieftain fan. We had a busy couple of weeks here. Boys basketball, you're sectional champs, and I'll clue you in. Next week, we're going to go live with none other than Josh Mork breaking down the basketball season and what's to come with it. If you know Josh, he's an encyclopedia of information. Ice fishing state champs for 2025 is Osceola. I had a chance to sit down with, actually go out on the ice with Coach Stewart today. That video has been uploaded. Ladies basketball lost a nail biter to St. Croix Falls in regionals last night. Good try, ladies. Next year we'll get them. But we're here to talk wrestling tonight. And Coach Kal, I appreciate you coming. I know it's the night before state.
Yeah, it's been a busy day.
Yeah, real quick, just tell us about you quick.
Yeah, again, I've been coaching Osceola. Now this is my third year here as the head coach of the varsity team. Really spend a lot of my free time working on that wrestling program from youth to high school level all year round. That was one thing I told the Osceola administration, that we needed to leave the mats in there because we're going to wrestle every week of the year, and we do. In my real job is I'm a chiropractor over in St. Croix Falls at Bond Chiropractic. I'm actually between practice and appointments later tonight, so I'm pretty busy running back and forth. I keep myself busy.
How many times did you go to state?
I was a 4-time state qualifier in high school.
4-time state qualifier. And
Yep.
The reason I ask you that is, what's going through your head Wednesday night before you leave for state on Thursday? What are these kids going through right now?
Well, I was in different situations. My freshman year, I took third at sectionals, kind of snuck in as a freshman to the state tournament. And that year, I was excited, nervous, happy to be there. My sophomore, junior, senior year, I was really ranked high, and there's more anxiety and stress that for sure came with that. You start, worrying about outcomes, and it's tough. It's exciting. I really preached to the boys. We talked a lot tonight about be excited about what could happen. Don't worry about what bad could happen. If you lose a match, things happen. And the other thing I always preach to the boys is tomorrow's going to be Sunday. Usually when we have Saturday tournaments, you have big matches. These kids get worked up about them. No matter what, you're going to go to bed on Saturday night. You're going to wake up the next day, Sunday. All these boys have other good things going for them. So with the stress is good. That means your body's getting ready for a big event, and it means it matters to you. But I want them also to be realistic and all the things life has to offer, and this isn't the only thing. It's very important to me, it's very important to them, and we're going to do our very best to have a really good tournament. But that night before, really, I tried to get a good night's sleep, eat what I could, eat the right things, maybe watch a little more film, usually not too much. I feel like you can overdo that more than you at this point in the year, and you just don't know by the time you get to your third, fourth match who you're going to see. Those brackets never play out the way you think you're going to, but tonight's a big night. It should be exciting. I think most of the boys are in a positive mindset and they're excited.
So tonight for dinner, we planned spaghetti. Is that a good idea?
Yep. If you can get carbs in you the night before, you should.
Carb overload.
Yep. Get yourself some good energy, and most of our boys did a pretty good job with their weight management to where they're going to have a good dinner tonight and be fueled up and ready to go tomorrow, which is important. You'll catch some of those kids who have kind of checked out on the season and they didn't cut weight right this week, and they're just there. That was good enough to make it down there, and we're still fueling up and doing the right things to be ready to win a bunch of matches down there this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. If we could go back a little bit, last time we talked, it was a couple weeks ago, and when we had talked, our lady chieftain wrestlers were going to regionals. We had Silva, Ella, and Tania wrestle down there. Can you give us a quick update on what happened?
Yeah, they all battled at regionals. This was their first year being in the new setup where it's regional sectionals. Sylvie, she won a match down there, and so did Tania, and Ella battled too. They battled. They're both all newer wrestlers. I will say Sylvie not making it through doesn't really quite give a testament to how good she came into the tournament 8-1, and there were, I believe, 4 or 5 ranked wrestlers at her weight class, and she battled and did well. it was a unique circumstance for her to not make it out based on how she's done in other tournaments. Other parts of the state, she would have made it out. As far as Ella and Tania, they both show a ton of promise. They just started wrestling this year. They both won a handful of matches. I think they both had a dozen or so wins, which is really good for your first year ever wrestling. And they're going to grow. All those girls I know are going to work this summer, and they're going to come back better than they were this year. And I'm excited to see it. Again, we're still working on growing that girls program. We're looking at having a girls coach next year, and really expanding that schedule, giving them more opportunities. I feel that to get them to the next level, I got to find more opportunities for them. So we're looking for that right now.
Awesome. Yeah. I wasn't able to, well, I watched Melissa Anderson's live streams when she'd go live.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to watch, but I did follow along on track wrestling quite closely. And yeah, girls, come back and kick some butt next year. Going back to our men's regional, we had everybody make it through regional, but Jacoby, Keegan, and Tristan. Tristan being our senior, Keegan being our freshman, and Jacoby being his first year.
Yep.
I just like to say something quick. These three, Tristan being the senior, unfortunately he won't be back next year, but and I can't praise Tristan enough. I did it the last time we were on. But Keegan Berg, you got more heart, kid, than I've seen out of a lot of people, and this is going to be the worst year you ever have.
Yep, that's a big adjustment going to the high school. And Keegan didn't make it through. Keegan's good enough to be a sectional wrestler as a freshman. And that weight class, there was a kid who took fifth, and he did not qualify for sections. That kid was a state qualifier last year. There were, again, guys, wrestling is the toughest in the entire state, right around us. That regional we're in is the toughest. We took third in the regional. The top two teams are ranked number 2 and number 3 in the state, I believe, on Grappler. And we were ranked 10th. I mean, the level of wrestling at that regional was extremely tough. I mean, so tough that at 120, a kid who made it to state last year and won matches down in Madison didn't even make it to sectional. So, and at times that's just how the dice shake out. Keegan ran into a tough weight class. Tristan wrestled well. He ended with 2 wins, came up just short in that 5th place. He actually ended up losing his first match, ended up being the one to make it. He lost, I believe, 9-8, just a nail biter. But Tristan went out on 2 tight matches. He won both of them with the last second fireman's, which if you watched Tristan wrestle, you knew it was coming. And it was a good way to watch him win his last couple matches. And the Jacoby won, I believe he won 1 or 2 matches, got us some big team points and showed a lot of promise. He's getting better and better. And actually Jacoby, Keegan's been at a couple. Jacoby's been at every practice since his season ended, trying to still get better. We actually had to tell him this week we're going to really focus on the high school state qualifiers. We want you in here, but we got to focus on these guys because he just wants to get better, which is cool to see.
Yeah, Jacoby had a pin down at regionals.
Yeah.
That was fun. And Jacoby, Wyatt tells me about you, and he says to me, Dad, every time I go to the gym, which is every day, I see Jacoby there 90% of the time. Keep up the hard work, dude. You're going places, and we need you in the lineup.
Yeah.
Moving on to sectionals. Unfortunately, the only wrestler that didn't make it through is Alex Williman.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you after sectionals. Personally, I know you really well. What I want to say to you is I didn't even expect you on the mat.
Yeah.
Nobody did. So to get through regionals to sectionals is a statement of your hard work, your testament to being a wrestler and being a Williman.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, so we make our wrestlers set goals at the beginning of the year. They have to write down what their goal is. I make them write down a goal that is, functional. They have to give me a number. I'm going to win this, I'm going to do this. And then they have to also give me, another goal. I want to be better on my feet, something like that. But Alex's goal was to wrestle 1 match. So that was his goal of the year, is to hopefully be able to wrestle 1 match. And for him to make the sectional tournament was awesome. He had a great day at regionals, won some big matches. And when we were in a tight team race, I told Alex we needed a pin, and he went out there and got it in a big match. And I wrestled with Alex a couple days before sectionals, and he's regained that athleticism and strength he had before hurting his leg. And at Osceola, if you make the sectional tournament this year, you make the sectional tournament as a sophomore, as a junior, we expect you to be a state qualifier. So that's where I think of Alex Williman for next year. I think he's got a lot of growth that's going to come.
Ditto. Alex, keep it up, buddy. So our state qualifiers. At 106, we got Malachi Barker. I believe he's seated 6th. I believe
Something
so.
like that. Yep, maybe 6th or 7th. He has his first match will be against Austin Peterson. This is an Ellsworth kid. He has wrestled 3 times this year. He won at regionals, lost at sectionals. It's a match we feel good about. I think we're ready to go tomorrow night for that one.
Yeah, and at 126, we got none other than Mr. Cromroy.
Yep, Hunter knows how the state tournament works as a sophomore, making it down for the second time. Some people counted him out. Looking at that 126 bracket again was similar to 120, maybe the toughest bracket in our sectional. I know at one point there were 7 or 8 ranked wrestlers at the weight. There's only 8 spots at sectional, so everyone in that bracket had been ranked in the state. Hunter came out second. He had a good day. Won some big matches with some scoring in the third period. That was always exciting. Hunter's always exciting, so he's ready to go too.
Yeah. 132, we got Talonberg.
Yep. Again, another kid going back to the state tournament. Talon looks to build on his 5th place finish last year and move up that podium a couple spots, and I think he's in a good spot in the bracket to do so. So we're excited. He's really came on the last few weeks of the season and looks like himself and is wrestling really well. So we're excited for his state run here.
Yeah, and then we got one of 2 Myers. We got Logan Meyer wrestling at 138.
Yep. Logan came up just short in the sectional finals, lost 9-8 to a kid from Amory who he's wrestled a bunch of times. We beat him 2-0 at regionals. I've watched these kids wrestle in 7th grade at the youth state tournament. Those 2 have gone back and forth for years. Logan's really tough. He's only lost 2 matches at 138 pounds this year. He's going to have a good state tournament. I expect him to find a way to get on that podium. None of these guys have easy paths there, but I really feel confident in our guys to be able to win that first match. I think we can get a lot of guys on the podium this weekend. Then his brother Cody, pretty sweet to have 2 brothers making it to state together. Cody is a freshman making it 144 pounds. That's a weight you don't see a lot of freshmen make it to state at. A fun fact about the freshmen at the sectionals, I'll wait till we get to our last one for that one. But Cody gutted out a really big win to take 3rd in the sectional. He had to wrestle a returning state qualifier kid who had won matches down at state last year from Hayward. And to be quite honest with you, one, as coaches, as fans, as lots of people around the wrestling world, I'm sure kind of counted Cody out of this one. And I should have silenced my phone. Cody got it out, 8-0 win. He turned him twice, had a battle in the first period, got on top, turned him, went top in third period, turned him again, and got himself a ticket to the state tournament. And Cody's a kid who every day after practice asks me to wrestle a match with him. He works hard every single day. He's been trying to get better. And I tell you what, in wrestling, there's something about that. Hard work does pay off, and it paid off for him and got himself to the state tournament as a freshman, which is awesome.
Yeah. Hard work pays off. Definitely, and you can see that. At 150, we got Isaac Dunham.
Yep. Isaac was one of those guys who was a sectional qualifier last year. Ended up not being able to wrestle at sectionals because of an injury. But again, that's the kind of guy where we expect him to be able to make the state tournament next year. Isaac had a good sectional. He had a tough match in the semis, came back, won a match, and then he won the wrestle back too. So he finished 2nd at the sectional. I believe he seeded about 8th. He's got a match I think we can win down there, that first one. And then, one thing about Isaac is he's always going to be in it. He's dangerous from every position. So we're excited for him as well.
Yeah. 157, we got Wyatt Hastings.
Yep. We have Wyatt. Wyatt had a good sectional tournament. We, again, similar to Isaac, both Isaac and Wyatt lost in the semifinals of the sectionals, which is one of the toughest matches to lose because, especially a close one, and both of them did lose close ones. Isaac lost by 1, and Wyatt lost by 2 or 3, but had the kid going to his back at the end, which would have been enough points to put him in the lead. And, when you're that close to the state tournament, that's your goal, and you get your heart broken like that, to turn around and win 2 more matches in a row is really, really tough. And a lot of times you see kids, they can't come back after that one, but Wyatt came back strong. He ended up getting a pin in the second period of the 3rd place match over a kid from Spooner. And it was awesome. Again, another kid who works really hard. He's working out every day after practice, running extra sprints every day, always drilling hard. And it paid off. And I know I've talked to you about this off camera, but if you would have looked at Wyatt's body of work last year, you would have said there was a chance he's getting to the state tournament next year. And that's really where he was at that time. And the amount of work Wyatt put in from the summer after practice, that's what gets you to the state tournament. He willed himself there. So we're excited to see him down in Madison.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Exciting.
Now we're going to 215, our sectional champion.
Yep, and I believe first sectional champ as a freshman in Osceola history. I don't know about all the 60s and the 70s. I had trouble tracking down that research. I know Liz Havlish helped me try to do some research too. We can't find anyone. I think Elliott is the first freshman sectional champ from Osceola. For sure, since we've been in 3 divisions, he is. Elliott had a great day. He had 2 wins over opponents that had beat him, 2 seniors that had beat him earlier this year, one at the Northern Badger and one last weekend at Regionals, pinned him. Elliott battled 2 matches for 6 minutes, looked fresh, looked strong, and got himself to the state tournament. And honestly, I was looking at that bracket worried. I mean, it was a tough bracket filled with good seniors. I was thinking, how are we going to get out of that? But for him to come out of that bracket on top is pretty incredible. And he actually set the record for the most wins as a freshman already with 50. And I know he's chasing Talon Berg's record from last year of 52 wins. If he wins 3 matches down at state, that would set him for the most wins in a season at Osceola as a freshman. Now, what I was going to say about our freshmen, we have Malachi at 106, we have Cody at 144, and we have Elliott at 215. If you go through the sectional tournament, there's only 4 freshmen who qualified for the state tournament from our sectional, and 3 of them are from Osceola. The other one's a 113-pounder from Chautauqua, had a good day too. That's really exciting, and it's stuff that makes us really happy as coaches, and proud of our guys for doing it as freshmen. Don't wait around to get down there. Get down there as a freshman or a sophomore. But it was a great day for Osceola wrestling. 8 state qualifiers is the most we've had ever from Osceola. I know 5 was the previous max, which I think was in 2004 or 5. It's exciting, and we're hoping to bring home a whole bunch of hardware this weekend. I really believe each of these wrestlers is good enough to get on the podium. And we're excited to see what they do, and then we're excited to bring them all back next year.
Yeah, and we hate to look forward like that, but next year, watch out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we took team in sectionals.
Yep, we did.
That's correct. A huge deal because St. Croix is seeded number 1 as a team, St. Croix Central seeded 2, and we barely beat St. Croix, but we beat them.
Yeah.
We beat them by 3 points.
Yep, we came out with the most points. And then with those 8 state qualifiers, there's only 3 schools with 8 state qualifiers in the entire state. It's us, Aquinas, and Mineral Point.
I'm going to interrupt.
Yeah.
When you say Osceola in the same sentence as Mineral Point and Aquinas, that means something.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I tell you what, and not to throw any shade at any other programs, but I guarantee you, if you go look through those other schools, we're the only school that's 8 kids who started at Osceola in middle school. These are homegrown kids who got better in that Osceola room, and it makes me really happy as a coach to see that. And I guarantee you also, you go look through that, there's nobody who has no seniors making it to state with 8. A step further, if you look in Division II, no team has more than 6 state qualifiers, but besides us, nobody has 7. We have 8. So pretty sweet. How can you not be excited about that? Not to brag, but we get to brag a little bit today.
Brag. Yeah. This is uncharted territory.
Yeah.
For not only Osceola but other schools too.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to everybody involved in the program.
Absolutely. It takes, you always hear it takes a village, and it really does. A ton of good people are involved, and I just feel like we have the right group of people across all levels, from youth to high school. I mean, our youth numbers are awesome right now. I mean, we had a bring your friend to practice night earlier this year where we had 112 kids in the room from K through 6th grade. I mean, it's exciting to be in Osceola right now. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we got 8 going to state, and this is, they signed autographs for the youth.
Yep.
And Wyatt managed to bring me and Bobby one home, and we're gonna keep that forever. All right, so there's the breakdown of the season up to this point. We want to wish our kids, I asked you earlier, what does it feel like Wednesday night as a wrestler? Cal, you should feel what it's like to be a parent.
Yeah.
My God, before that sectionals, I was talking with Bobby earlier. I've never shook like that in my life. I've never felt like that in my life, hoping, and I know the work that these kids have put in, and we wanted so many of them to make it, including our own. And when they did, state doesn't even compare to that.
Yeah.
It's a real weird feeling, just the hope you have for your kids, and
yeah, well, it was fun I got a lot of big hugs from the boys on Saturday. That was pretty awesome. Some cool moments. Thanks, I mentioned to those boys this whole week and last week, don't take any of this for granted. My dad told me that, and I remember my sophomore year, I had just won a state title when we were walking off the floor, and I was kind of, I was jogging off the floor, and he kind of grabbed me and said, "Hey, walk slow here, take this all in. You never know when you're going to get all back there." And I feel confident we can get all these boys back to the state tournament, but there's injuries, there's sickness. You never know what's going to happen. So we're doing a good job making sure these boys don't take any of this for granted too, and they really realize how special this is to get to go enjoy this with all their teammates.
Yeah, and be able to do it again next year.
Yeah.
All right, so keep in mind, tomorrow morning at 8:05 a.m., there is a pep rally and a send-off for the kids. What time are you guys leaving for Madison?
Pep rally, I believe, starts right at the start of school, so it's either 8:05 or 8:50, whenever school starts.
8:05.
8:05 is when that'll start. And as soon as that's over, we're loading up in the Suburbans and we're heading down to Madison.
So it'll be a send-off. Public is welcome. Aaron Dunham got a hold of me earlier and said, make sure you get there early if you want to see the full pep rally, because you have to show an ID to check into the school.
Yep.
So get there early. I'm saying 7:30-ish. It does take a little bit of time to get checked in. Other than that, I think we got it wrapped up, and I think we're ready for Madison.
Yeah.
Coach?
No, I'm ready. We'll see you down there.
I think we're ready. I'll see you down there. Hit the X on the top of the screen.
Awesome.
Hit OK. There we go.
All right.